See, I get smoked, nigga.
Work, nigga. Gang, B-I-B-O,
One double O,
B-I-B-O.
Big B-boy on them gang shit, and I'm a rocky
B-boy on them
nigga. Became my blunt, bitch.
You're watching the master at work.
Smoke 'em like a BK, that's CG. On the range, still smoke on your old.
Hey yo, what up squad? Hey man, welcome back to HOODROK Entertainment and welcome back to another GOAT video, bro. Another GOAT video. I'm about to start making a series called the GOAT series, bro. But yo, welcome back, man. If it's your first time tapping in, hit that subscribe button, click up, squad up, tap it, whatever you want to call it, go ahead and do that. You might have noticed the last couple of weeks I've been putting up a lot of Jordan videos. And that's because they're strongly requested by you guys, bro. I'm also an old basketball fan, right? I'm an old basketball head. I was raised on rugby, specifically rugby league. Played rugby league since I was 7 years old. I played most of my life. You know what I mean? So, but I always followed basketball right up until I left high school. Right up until the end of high school days, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And then sort of lost touch with the NBA, but I was always, you know what I mean? I was always sort of watching highlights. I'm a highlight dude, you know what I mean? I'm a highlight guy. So I went from watching full matches growing up, you know what I mean? Like we got ESPN on our television over here in New Zealand, so I grew up, you know, playing rugby league, watching rugby league and watching basketball. But I went from watching matches to growing up and watching highlights. So I know all the players, I watch a lot of highlights and shit like that, but I thought, yo, we might get back into those the OG days, what I call them. Start bringing some of those OG videos. So yo, NBA legends and players explain why Michael Jordan would destroy today's NBA. I've heard a lot of people discuss this particular topic here, bro. You know what I mean? Like, how good would the players be? But it's the other way around. How good would the players today be playing back in the days with all the physical shit going on? You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get into this, bro. Run the numbers up on this, hit that notification bell. And if you've got a little something, you know what up. So let's get into this.
So you probably heard the media or people that watch Michael Jordan play live say that he could average 45 to 50 points in today's NBA. And if I had to give my take on it...
What do you think? That's a good question. What do you think? What do you think Jordan would average? Because he averaged 30, 31, 32 or something like that, right? Something close to that. Like, I'm not exactly on point, but I know it was something, you know, the low 30s was what he averaged a match. What do you think, bro? Like in today's, like, you know, how easy it is to get to the bucket. Jordan being a guy that attacked the bucket a lot, being a mid-range shooter who ended up developing his three-point game, and he was never a bad three-point shooter, but he ended up becoming, you know, a reliable three-point shooter, a dude that wasn't afraid to drive to the bucket. A guy with the tenacity and the determination and the drive that he had. And then you got to think of the other things, like how, like off camera, like, you know what I mean, in training, the way he made the team around him. People say, oh, Jordan was the greatest player, but he never made the people around him great. And it's like, well, not that you've seen, but he did make them great, because in training, he made them train like a mother. You know what I mean? And that showed on the court, but it didn't show Jordan specifically making them better, but he did make them better, bro, in training. But let me know what you think.
James Harden averaged 36 points per game on 44% field goal shooting in this era. DeMar DeRozan had a scoring streak averaging at least 35 points per game this season. And I brought DeRozan up because offensively, he got the same mid-range game like Michael Jordan, and this was the best season of his career. Keep in mind, both of these players are not even in the same stratosphere as Michael Jordan. Jordan averaged 37 points in a season with hand checking. Imagine...
It's facts. You can't even you can't even touch a player now. You remember back in the days, you used to hand check them, put your hand on their, like, around their hip, around their waist and that, so, you know what I mean? Like, so you can try and think where they're going, shit like that. You can't even do that now. I forgot about that. Yo, that's another thing, bro. I hear so many people say things like, when they're watching Michael Jordan, I've watched people react to the Michael Jordan Ultimate Mixtape. And you see people going, like the real LeBron James fans, who think LeBron's the GOAT. You see them saying things like, oh, I've seen blah blah do that. I've seen blah blah do that. I've seen another dude do that. I've seen Durant do that. I've seen, do you know what I mean? I remember when Blake Griffin did that shit. And it's like, yeah, but you're saying all these other different players are doing doing things that this one man's doing. You know what I mean? Just because you've seen other people do it before, have you seen one dude do all those things? That's the difference. They're saying, I remember when Derrick Rose did that, and I remember when this guy did that, and I seen this dude do that, and it's like, yeah, but one dude's doing all this. You know what I mean?
No hand checking with the defensive 3-second rule that the NBA implemented in the 2001-02 season. Michael Jordan will be slashing every second. And I suggest you, after this video, watch Luka Doncic on JJ Redick's podcast. He explained why it's easier to score in the NBA than in Europe. So anyway, I know Jordan will be unstoppable with modern spacing and no hand checking. Also, I'm not fond of the myth that Jordan was a terrible 3-point shooter in his early years.
Jordan would average 40. Easy. He'd average 40. That's what he'd average. He'd average 40. And on good days, he'd be, you know, the 60 something points that he scored, that would be on a good day when he's playing good. You know what I mean? His records would be somewhere up in the 70s now.
In his first 4 years in the league, he never shot over 70 3-pointers in a single season. That's less than 1 attempt per game. The 3-point shot wasn't a focal point in Jordan's era. When he was 26 years old in the 89-90 season, he shot 245 3-pointers. He made over 37% of them. That is a good 3-point percentage. And in the 96 season, he shot 42% from the 3-point line. And even though the 3-point shot wasn't a renowned part of his game, he would have shot a few more 3-pointers in today's NBA. If I had to give an estimate, he would have had a season where he averaged 40 to 43 points per game. So I want to show you NBA legends and players who talked about how good Michael Jordan will be in today's NBA. So enjoy the video, man.
How would you envision, what would Michael Jordan be if he played in the game today the way the game is different from the way it was in his era?
He'd average 45, and the league would be complaining about 2 players. I'd be like, Mike is too good, and the kid named Shaq down in Orlando is too dominant. What are we going to do?
That's facts, sir.
When you think back...
That's facts, sir, right? It'd be, Shaq is too powerful in the paint, and Jordan's just too, you know what I mean, too dominant.
To what those defenses were allowed to do and how defenses play now in the NBA.
Jordan's too fast.
What would Michael Jordan do in today's NBA?
Probably average 45, 50 a game.
For us, LeBron and
Who was that? Hold on.
Probably average 40.
Oh, what's up,
50
man?
a game.
For us, LeBron and Michael.
He holds some records
If
too.
Michael played in this era, he'll average 50. He'll average 50 points.
How many points do you think Jordan could average in today's NBA?
What's the most he ever averaged? 37?
37-1.
All right, so 40 easy. 40 easy. 40 easy.
Easy.
Yeah, 40 easy. Like,
Hey, I know what you talking about.
40 is easy. 40 would be easy for Black Jesus.
Because Harden, I think Harden a couple years ago averaged 36. So you figure Jordan could average 40 with no problem. I'm gonna ask both of you guys.
And you add to that, when he averaged 37, he was doing it with 2s. It wasn't even no 3. They weren't shooting 3-pointers like how they shoot now. You know what I'm saying? Because just imagine if Michael decided to shoot 6, 7 threes a game like they do now. 40 would have been easy.
If Michael played today, he probably averaged almost 50 a game. I mean, he really would, because you wouldn't be able to touch him on the perimeter, so he'd be shooting.
Now, bro, it doesn't even matter.
So when everybody does this Michael
how
LeBron
you
comparison,
feel about the LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate, bro. It doesn't even matter how you feel about that, because the facts are the facts, right? But then you've got to look at shit like this. How many people would even it would even put LeBron James's name in that question with 40, 50 point. You would never even, I couldn't even imagine LeBron James scoring 40 average, 50 average, bro. I couldn't even imagine LeBron James going anywhere over 40 points average a game, bro. I can't imagine it, but I can imagine Jordan doing it because he you know what I mean? I can imagine Jordan doing it, but I can't imagine Bron doing that. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You gotta quit playing. You gotta quit fooling yourselves. Look, LeBron James, my top 5. Definitely in my top 5. You'd be silly not to put him in your top 5. You'd be silly not to put him in your top 3. But there's only one GOAT.
You almost can't. It's not the same game that they're playing.
It's not the same game. You're right. It's not. It's not the same game. I would have loved to see LeBron play.
And stop fooling yourselves about this. Oh, there's greatest. He's the GOAT of that era. He's the GOAT of that era. Yeah, but who is it? But okay, then if you want to do it like that, get all the GOATs of those eras together. Right, there'd be a group of them. Right, however many eras you want to go back to, you could see 4 eras. Right, 4 eras of basketball. Get the 4 GOATs. Who's the best out of them? Right, there's always one, bro. The stupid thing about, yeah, man, he's the GOAT of that era. There is no GOAT because there's a GOAT of this era. Yeah, but who's the best at all of them? They all playing in different times. They all playing with different things. But then pick a time that you want to use those rules and shit. And who would be the best in that era? Right, who would be the best using that era's rules and shit? I still think it'd be Jordan. No matter what era you go to and what rules you try to use and what kind, you know what I mean? All of that. Jordan would be the best in that era if he played in that era. It doesn't matter what you say. He is the greatest of all time, bro. You can't beat that.
In the 90s.
You played in both eras. How many points do you think Jordan would literally average per game?
Today?
Today.
Shoot.
Who's this?
More than James Harden. More than that. For sure.
Really?
For sure. And I was at the Jordan era.
Yeah.
I was in the LeBron, Kobe.
Yeah.
Duncan. And I was at the tail end.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I played with these guys.
Right.
I've seen all the 3-point balls go up. They can't. Jordan, no way. Jordan would average 50.
You believe Jordan would average 50?
If he wanted to.
Right.
Like James Harden wants to average 50. He just can't.
Right.
He got 38.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
If Jordan wants to average 50, if he was playing his era, I think he averages 50. And this is no disrespect to any of the guys.
Current players.
That's killing, like KD, you know.
Yeah, all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, not all
the guys, Steph and LeBron and all those guys. Yeah.
Between 45.
Can't take nothing from Curry. You can't take shit from Curry. You can't take shit from Bron. You can't take nothing away from LeBron. You can't take nothing away from Curry because where they're at took hard work, bro. It took hard work, skill, a lot of time. So you can't take any of those accolades away from any of those dudes, bro. You know what I mean? But you can't. That doesn't mean that you're gonna put them in the same argument as someone else. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It reminded me so much of how Wilt Chamberlain seemed to be just dropped in a different era when he was averaging 50 and 25. That's what Michael Jordan represented for the era he came in. Think about it, he was MVP of the league while teams were still flying commercial, okay? The rigor isn't the same. The physicality in today's game isn't the same. And one of the things that you didn't acknowledge, all NBA defense. He will be getting steals. He will be getting out in transition, catching lobs.
You're on point, bro. I forgot about that shit, right? We all talk about this offense, bro. How much points he'd score. How much points would his, like, bro. The turnovers, like the steals, all that shit. I forget about that shit. He was, bro.
3-on-2.
He was a defensive player of the year and offensive player of the year in the same year, bro. Shit.
2-on-1. And also getting to the free throw line. In the NBA Finals in the early 90s, he scored 63 in the 80s versus the great Boston Celtics. And yes, there are a handful of great defensive teams in today's game. The Bucks, both teams in LA, the Toronto Raptors. But you know what else it is?
Holy shit, I forgot. 63 points.
Boston Celtics. And yes, there are a handful of great defensive teams in today's game. The Bucks, both teams in LA, the Toronto Raptors. But you know what else it is, Greeny? A lot of bottom feeders. So say against the great teams, he would average 40, no doubt. Against the bad teams, the lottery teams, he would definitely average 50 against those squads.
What about these other guys who were playing?
Facts, right? Because when we're thinking about how much would he average, we're picturing the Bulls playing teams like, you know what I mean? Like, playing teams like, who else? Like, who's good at the moment? I didn't even know. I haven't been keeping up. But yeah, bro, playing those teams, bro, other teams like that. And then you got to think, if we're picturing that and we're picturing him averaging 40, then when you picture him averaging the teams at the bottom of the like who ain't so good at the moment, like I don't know, but when you're picturing the Bulls, Jordan playing against those teams, well, it's a whole different picture, isn't it? Like, you're like, shit. Damn, he could even throw down 70 on a team like that today, you know?
Jordan would have averaged 45, 50.
In today's game.
The point I was making is you allow great shooters freedom to roam, freedom with no hand check. You can't crowd me, and I got a clear sight at the rim, then it's going to be lights out, baby. But it's so hard to play defense in today's game because they allow the offense to go wherever they want.
Okay, but if
you can't even breathe on a dude today, bro.
Jordan's averaging, I mean, be honest here. If Jordan in his prime, Jordan in the early 90s is averaging.
Today's rules.
Yeah, today's rules is averaging 40.
He would average 40.
My bad, y'all. I should have moved my camera a long time ago, bro. My bad.
I think he would average 40.
Okay, but he average 39 one year, or 37.1. So Kobe's going to average 40.
Kobe would be up there. Kobe would be up there as well.
In today's game, the rules as they are, how would Jordan do, and how many points do you believe he would average?
I don't think anybody's averaging 60 or 70.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, those days are over with.
Nobody's going to get Wilt's 50 a game, huh?
Not 50 a game. No, that's not going to happen. But I will say this, Michael Jordan would average whatever he want to average.
You believe he can get 40 a night?
Yeah, he can. I mean, yeah. Yeah, there's no question about it.
40 a night,
yeah,
40.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And this dude, he loves asking that question, eh, bro? He asks every single person that comes on the show that question.
How you gonna get 40? If you go to
I'm not here to break it down and decipher it.
Facts.
I'm telling you as a witness. I'm testifying on behalf of Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
I'm not here to break it down, bro. I'm just here to tell you because I know, bro. He did it to me.
That he would average 40 a night. If we see guys averaging 30.
Right.
And 35. With all due respect, that don't have the arsenal that he has offensively.
Well, you know you're going to have to add that 3-ball. You got to add the 3-ball to get to 40. Because you look at the guys, Harden was the last guy. I think Harden averaged, 36? And that step back 3, he put that in. Obviously, the free throw, Jordan went to the free throw line a lot. He didn't go as much as Harden. But I don't know how you get to 40 without that 3-ball.
Well, Jordan.
But the thing is Jordan played and adapted his game to the way that they played at the time. So, because other teams are shooting so much threes and throwing down threes, to Jordan, that's a challenge. To MJ, everything's a challenge to MJ, bro. You gotta think of the way that this dude's mind works, bro. Everything's a challenge to MJ, bro. So if other teams and other players are throwing down their free ball, imagine the trash talk. See, you gotta think of shit like this too. Imagine the trash talk that they'd be doing at MJ, and how Michael Jordan would react to that. Right? Dude's throwing down buckets, bro. Buckets. Do you know what I mean? The Steph Curry's throwing down buckets. And turning around and laughing and you know what I mean, the trash talk shit. Jordan would go away and work on that free. And he'd come back and start shooting just as much frees. You remember the Blazers? Do we need that? Come on, bro. Stop playing.
Jordan's going to go to the free throw line more than he did back then because we were able to beat him up, and it was ignored to a certain extent.
Okay.
So, and he added the 3-ball in his career. We watched him against the Blazers knock down 3. That wasn't his specialty, but it wasn't like he was a liability. We watched him against the Blazers knock down 3. That wasn't his specialty, but it wasn't like he was a liability shooting the basketball. Michael Jordan would average whatever he wanted to average.
No, his numbers would definitely be inflated. And you thought James Harden got to the line a lot. Jordan would average 20 free throws probably every night. You got to understand, he would evolve into this era. You know, the Jordan that we saw young, athletic, get to the basket based on, you know, what we've seen in this era, you would see a Jordan probably shooting more threes too. So he would definitely evolve. You know, he averaging 35 at one point. I could see him really pushing that to 40. I don't know about 50, 60, but like, you know, mid-40s, I could see that possibly happening.
I don't know if he would shoot 75% from the field, but Paul, for his career, I think he averaged like 8.5, 8.8 free throw attempts per game. So like, that's at least going to double. That's going to put 20 per game in today's age. And also, I mean, pace and space. Think about how physical the game was back then. You pretty much get put on your back every time you went to the bucket. Now all of a sudden somebody blows on your wrist or hits your hand, that's a foul. Like, so yeah, even though he would have taken more threes if he lived in today's age, still his mid-range game was on point. His skill level, he still would be considered one of the most skilled, if not the most skilled in the league today. I think, I don't know 75%, but he'd be averaging in the 40s for sure.
What both of you guys are saying is right. The pace has increased. The three-point shot has increased. Players up front have gotten smaller. So now driving to the basket, he gonna be dunking on everybody. Just think about
Okay. Yo, he will be dunking on everybody. Everybody. Braun.
about that. Like KD is like a 4 in today's game. So now like and then here's the other thing. If Harden can average 36, 37 right now, James Harden is averaging that right now. He's getting none of those points off his defense. Jordan gonna be getting steals. He gonna be getting blocks. He gonna be out on fast break. I say like about 40, we would be having a conversation. Can somebody average 50 besides Will? He'll be like 47, 48. I really believe it.
1 is the best, 5 is subpar. All right, not so good. So you get a chance to rank 1 through 5. Psychologically, how do you rank Michael Jordan?
The scale of 1 to 5?
1 to 5. 1 being the best, 5 being the worst.
1.
Facts.
Ball handling.
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Defender.
1.
Mid-range jumper.
0. Better than 1.
Oh.
Like I said, he was a pure shooter. Like, I don't think anybody in the league at that point was shooting the ball better than him. He shoot 50+% from the field at the guard position, shoot all J's. Like, you have to be a pure shooter. And everything was touching bottoms. Like, 1, 0. You go 0 with that one.
What do you think Jordan will average? Where do you think he would fit in?
I mean, he can adapt his game to anything. He would fit in as the best player in the league. Like, that's what he would be. And, you know, I feel like he'll have more possessions to do more things, but there's also more athleticism in his game. There's more length in his game, but, you know, it's also more space for MJ to go to work. So, I mean, we'll never know, but for sure, I mean, he's a masterful basketball player, like we've been saying. His skill.
Yeah, you think about it too, you know, they're mentioning the physical stuff, right? His mental thing, the way he'd get into people's heads, the shit he'd say to people on the court, his trash talk, you know what I mean? Like, bruh.
The level is unmatched, so of course he'll do numbers in this league today.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and tell me, how many points do you think Michael Jordan would average in today's NBA? Would he average 40 to 45 points per game? Or possibly 50? 50 is crazy. Or would he drop the same numbers he did in his time? So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and show love to the YG gang, and I'm out.
That was dope. Hey, y'all know what up. Keep sending these bangers in. HOODROK Entertainment with Jets. Stay safe, stay dangerous. We out. Peace.